Hello, in this video I will show you how to create a pivot table where the primary measure is a sum instead of a count. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the data. This data is the drug overdoses data, which has been collected from the CDC. The primary variable that I'm going to be interested in here is the age groups. So that's going to be my response variable here. The predictor variable is going to be gender, so either male or female. Notice in this data set that each row is actually a tally instead of for one particular individual. So here in that first row, I can see that I had 20 deaths. And this is in the state of Alabama, age group 15 to 24 for females. In the second row, Alabama again, age group 15 to 24 males, I had a total of 39 deaths. Now this is different than using, for example, the Titanic data set, where the Titanic data set, each individual person had their own row. So this is Elizabeth Allen here. She survived and she was traveling alone. But each row represented only one person. So this person right here is Mr. Hudson. Allison again. Did not survive, was not traveling alone. So here you can see that each individual row is an individual person. The summary that's appropriate for this data is a count. Whereas over here, because each row is already a tally, I'm going to want to be doing a sum when I do my summary. So let's go ahead and create a pivot table then for our drug overdose data here. Again, I'm going to highlight all the data that I'm interested in summarizing. Underneath data, I can select pivot table. Again, put it on a new sheet. My rows are going to be for my predictor variable, which is going to be the gender. The columns are going to be for my response variable, which is going to be age groups. Now under the values box, I'm going to want to specify the number of deaths here. And then the summary is going to be a sum of those. If I take a moment and edit this table, increase the font size, maybe center the results just so it's a little easier to read, pull that apart a little bit between columns A and B to read those, and now you can see that I have a total number of deaths. This would be across all the different states. So here this 1133 would be the total number of female deaths, age group 15 to 24, that died from a drug overdose. We can do things, so what's different here than when I was doing the Titanic data is that the values box actually was a summary of the deaths column. Okay, so over here when I was creating my pivot table, my summarized by, I was using deaths here. So I'll do that one more time for you. The values box is going to be deaths, and then I'm going to want to use a sum there. I can easily, again, convert those to row percentages by selecting percent of row. I can also easily create my 100% stacked column graph. I showed you that in an earlier video. We can do that quickly here. The default, again, is not the stacked version, but underneath my column chart, I can specify the stacked version of that graph. The age groups across the bottom here, and then the males and females, and the differences between those. Okay, that does it then for a pivot table summary that involves a sum instead of a count. Thank you.